Why do most new nonprofits struggle to raise money? If this is you and you're feeling like fundraising for your brand new organization is a lot harder than you imagined it was going to be, you're not alone. I have seen many organizations hit the exact same roadblocks, but the good news is you can fix them. In this Changemaker Cafe episode, we're going to talk about what those common roadblocks to fundraising are and how you can take the steps to overcome them. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content all about fundraising, nonprofit social entrepreneurship, and all of the different ways that you can make a social impact in the world. All right, let's get into it. Just want to start by acknowledging that it's true that as of the filming of this video, we are existing in a lot tighter of a fundraising landscape than other periods throughout the last couple of decades. Times are tough economically, people might be donating less. So across the board, all nonprofits, even more established ones, might be having some challenges with fundraising. Though there are many things we can't control in an environment like this, there are some things that we can control. So I'm going to share 4 of the roadblocks in particular that I see, especially newer organizations hit when they are starting out in their fundraising. The first common struggle I've seen newer nonprofits face is not getting specific enough with their fundraising goal. Once upon a time, a nonprofit founder wrote a long funding proposal, including all of their ideas to make an impact in the world and a robust budget that showcased all of the different line items they were going to need to make all of these ideas a reality. Spoiler alert, they did not get funded. Second spoiler alert, that nonprofit founder was me. So what I learned the hard way in the beginning is that a lack of a very clear, specific, simple goal when you're starting out can be a hurdle for a lot of would-be supporters. I originally thought that sharing my whole big vision and my long-term 10-year plan and all of that would inspire donors and funders, but it actually had the opposite effect of overwhelming them. It not only overwhelmed them, it also confused them, and for some it even caused them to question my credibility because they hadn't seen me accomplish any of these ideas yet, so why would they think that I could accomplish all of these ideas? They had no idea if I was capable of achieving these bigger aims. So then I watched several other nonprofit founders get their fundraising up much faster than I had when I first started, and I observed how they did it and how well it worked. Here's what these other founders were doing to raise money faster and more efficiently than me in those early days. Instead of trying to raise money for everything they thought they needed to get started in the beginning, they picked one compelling, clear, specific community outcome that they wanted to achieve, and then they built a fundraising strategy around that. So you need to do the same thing. Instead of trying to figure out how much you would raise for everything you need to get up and running, drill it down to a minimum viable product. How much would you need to raise to reach that one compelling community impact right now? Whether it's feeding 1,000 families or getting 50 dogs adopted or whatever that impact could be. You want to figure out how much it's going to cost to reach that specific goal, and then you want to focus your fundraising effort on meeting that goal first. If you need help figuring out exactly how to do this, I go into great amounts of detail in my upcoming toolkit, $0 to $100,000, your fundraising starter toolkit. So be sure to check out the link below to join my waitlist and get an alert when that publishes. The second hurdle I've seen newer organizations face when trying to start up their fundraising is not having their fundraising materials and assets ready. So I had this happen to me when I first started out in fundraising. I would manage to get a meeting with a potential funder or donor. I would go in, we'd have a great conversation, and inevitably they would ask, do you have something you can leave me so I can read more about your organization? And I didn't. If you don't have something ready to go, ready to hand people when they ask that question at the end of an amazing meeting, you're going to have to leave that meeting without giving them something to think about right away. And you're going to have to follow up and hopefully not have lost momentum when they're ready to learn more about your cause. You really want to have several key fundraising assets ready to go, prepared and polished by the time you start meeting with any funders or potential donors. Like I said, not only does this help you look polished and professional, but it helps carry that momentum forward with that donor after you have a great conversation with them. I actually just talked in depth about some of these materials that you want to prepare in another video, so be sure to check out that for all of the details. I'm not going to go into all of the information that I put in that video here, but I'll give you a quick checklist of some of the things you want to have handy. This is not a comprehensive list, but it will at least get you started. Your origin story. Why does this cause matter to you personally? You want to have research and data on the social issue that your nonprofit is tackling, not just stats for recent years, but also trends. Is this problem getting worse? Is it getting a little better? What's going on right now? If possible, any testimonials from people or communities that you've already helped. Testimonials go a long way in starting to establish that track record with potential funders. A basic website that explains the issue that you're trying to tackle and your mission, how you plan to tackle that issue. Your organization's budget, a clear fundraising goal that reflects that budget, as we just talked about. A case for support and one-page document that you can leave behind with donors or funders. Now, I've got templates and examples and all of that in the toolkit that I mentioned, so once again, the link to learn more about that is below this video. The third roadblock that I've seen a lot of new nonprofits face when fundraising is trying to ask the wrong people or organizations for support. Now, what do I mean by the wrong people or organizations? When you're just starting out, you might think that casting a wide net to anyone and everyone is your best shot of getting funding. But actually, spending a lot of time engaging the wrong audiences can be a waste of your time and theirs. It's much more efficient and better to figure out who is going to be the most likely to support your organization in the first place, and then spend your time building a relationship with those audiences. Different people, different organizations give funding to causes based on a number of different factors, but two of those most important factors in particular are a personal or business connection to the specific issue or cause that you're tackling, and secondly, trust and a trusting relationship with the person or people leading the organization. That's you. So think about like the last time you supported a cause. You were much more likely to support that cause if what they were doing aligned with your existing interests and values, and if you knew some of the people leading the organization and trusted them to run the organization well. And there's some data to back this up. Recently, a report from the Grant Professionals Association showed that organizations that did not have an existing relationship with grant funders were much more likely to have their funding request denied. And another study by Stanford a few years ago showed how high net worth donors much preferred to give donations to institutions or organizations that they'd had some kind of personal interaction with, like universities or museums or other charities, etc. They might also be interested in causes that could be impacted by changing political climates, and many of them have a special pot of funding that they hold aside to donate to causes run by or affiliated with people they know and love in their community, like their friends or family. Another interesting finding is that a donor's interest in a new organization can be highly influenced by who in their network is telling them about this new organization. If someone they already know and trust is the one recommending the new nonprofit, their chances of supporting that new nonprofit are increased significantly. Here's what this means if you are a newer organization. Your job right now is to make people aware of you, and you want to target those groups or those people that are likely to have alignment with the issue that you're tackling and an interest in what you're working on. So, like I said, if you are an animal rescue organization, then the Pet Supply Association might be the perfect audience for you, because all those pet supply companies have an alignment with and an interest in animal rescues succeeding. Think about who you know in your community who has been affected by or connected to the issue that you're tackling, and where are they hanging out? What are the different clubs that they're a part of, or the venues that they go to? And you want to make sure that you are present in all of those places so that you can meet them. What clubs, groups, or businesses in your area might have a connection to your mission or might benefit from your mission succeeding? The pet supply company thing is a great example. And I have a whole donor target audience assessment in that toolkit that I talked about as well. Now, before I share the fourth roadblock that new nonprofits face in fundraising, fundraising, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Click and Pledge. All nonprofits need a solid fundraising platform to be able to collect and track their donations and monitor their fundraising campaigns. And Click and Pledge is a great option for nonprofits of all sizes and especially newer organizations because it's so affordable to get started with them. With Click and Pledge, you're going to get that robust dashboard where you can monitor your fundraising campaign progress. You're going to get access to highly customizable donation forms so you can make them match your organization's branding and messaging and imagery. You'll get in-person fundraising features so that you can collect donations at events when you're out and about. You've got access to peer-to-peer fundraising features so you can galvanize your board and your volunteers to go out and fundraise for your cause. Video fundraising with donation links embedded directly in the video. Text to give, donor outreach tools so that you can retain those donors once you've got them, a complete Salesforce integration, a lot of other integrations, and more. Some platforms charge more based on your organization's size or budget, but Click and Pledge's fees remain flat no matter how large your organization or its donor base grows. Their nonprofit clients really appreciate how there are no contracts and all the features are included at no extra cost. You can learn more about Click and Pledge's fundraising solutions at the QR code here or the link under this video and get your first $25 monthly fee waived. You can also schedule a demo, reach out to their team and ask questions, and figure out how you need to get started. Now, I found that a fourth major struggle for newer organizations trying to raise money simply has to do with mindset. And let me tell you what I mean by that. It's specifically mindset around three things. The first thing is simply spreading yourself too thin. As I kind of mentioned before, if you are trying to get the word out to everyone and cast a wide net, one thing you're not doing is focusing on the most likely candidates for supporters. I made this mistake early on as well. I was so busy trying to get the word out and try to reach as many people as I can that I didn't stop to think about who is going to be the right donor target audience for my specific mission and hone in on them. It would have saved me a lot of time and energy if I had done that. So again, don't spread yourself too thin. Don't try too many different things. Try to really hone in on who your specific target audiences are going to be for supporters and go where they are. Second mindset issue is a fear of asking. I have talked to so many founders who just want to focus on grant writing or ways to raise money that do not involve a direct person-to-person ask, but I can tell you those methods are usually less efficient and way more competitive and unlikely for newer organizations to have access to. The easiest way for new organizations to gain traction with fundraising is to build that audience of likely supporters, cultivate them, and get those first few sponsorships or donors. But I get it. It sucks to hear no. It sucks to feel like you're rejected. It feels like a personal attack, but it's not. There are so many reasons people might say no. It might not just be the right time for them. Maybe they're having their own economic difficulties. It doesn't reflect on you personally, usually. And what I learned is that loving a mission is a gift. And as a nonprofit and as a leader and a change maker and a founder whose heart is called to do something for your community, you have a gift that you can give supporters too. And that is the opportunity to join in on your incredible mission. I know it sounds really cheesy, but right now everyone is grasping around trying to find meaning and purpose and community, and being a donor can be one way to achieve that. So inviting people to give and to get involved is a way of including them and inviting them, not just a one-way transaction where they give you something and don't get anything in return. And the third mindset issue I've seen is this idea that you have to do all of this right away. You may have a big dream for your nonprofit, and maybe that big dream is going to require millions of dollars at some point, but slow down. Because we can't get there overnight. We need to start small and build momentum from there like a snowball. That's why I say focus on one compelling community impact goal at first. You want to get that victory under your belt, show people what's possible, give them a taste of the success, and then invite them to grow the mission further after that. And once you get that first victory under your belt, talk about it. Show people what can happen when they support your cause. And like I said, my upcoming toolkit, $0 to $100,000 fundraising starter kit, is going to take you through every single step of all of this. It's really my complete system to go from nothing to achieving your first fundraising campaign, even if you don't have any audience yet or any supporters to speak of yet. And it's all built to help you do this in a way that's going to help you sustain that support over time instead of being just a one-time blast of support. If you think that could help you out, don't forget the link to join my waitlist for the toolkit is below this video. It's going to launch really soon, so you don't want to miss out. And I will email you when it is ready to go. I'm curious what you think. Are there other roadblocks that you have faced as a newer organization leader that I didn't mention here in this video? Let me know, share those in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to give this video a like if it brought you some helpful new information, some value, because that really helps the mysterious YouTube algorithm share it with more people. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content on nonprofits, board leadership, fundraising, social entrepreneurship, and all that good stuff. My website, changemakercafe.com, has more resources for you and my weekly newsletter, so you can check that out there. I'm Amber Melanie Smith. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.